Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. And boys and girls, if you've got this book, Who's Got Spots? Go get it so that you can follow along. It is a AR book, so I think it's a 3-1 level. So my second, third grade, some fourth grade, you can read this book. So Who's Got Spots? Here's our title page. It was written, our author is by Linda Williams Aber, and it's illustrated by Giora Fiaminga. Hope I said that right. Good luck, called Kip's dad. This was the day Mrs. Beck was going to announce the solo singer for the Autumn Fest. Kip was hoping it would be him. Kip could hardly sit still. He was too excited. He was also worried. What if Mrs. Beck stood up in front of the whole class and said someone else's name? What if the name she called was Kip? Mrs. Beck announced with a big smile, Kip will be our solo singer. All the kids cheered. For the first time since tryouts, Kip relaxed. What a great day this was turning out to be. Practice for the Autumn Fest began right away. It takes many voices to make a chorus, said Mrs. Beck. Kip will sing the solo, but each one of you is important. Be sure to come to every practice. Don't worry, said Kip. He was sure that nothing would get in the way of their show. But the next day, Kip found out that something was getting in the way. I have bad news, said Mrs. Beck. 3 people in the chorus have chicken pox. Travis, May, and Corey. All the kids began talking at once. Have you had it? I've had it already. Will I get it? Do you get chicken pox from a chicken? Chicken pox. Chicken pox is a virus. It lasts 7 to 10 days. Once all the blisters have scabs, you are not contagious. Don't scratch. A chicken? Oh no, said Mrs. Beck. You catch it from someone who has it. The good news is that once you get it, the chicken pox, you can never get it again. Still, the room buzzed with worried voices. What about the show? Cried Kip. Well, let's see, Mrs. Beck said. There are 15 people in our chorus. We can perform it if at least 10 are well by the date of the show. What are the chances of that? Whispered Alice, the girl next to Kip. Chicken pox is really contagious. I know, said Kip in a worried voice. Mrs. Beck sighed. All we can do is wait and see. Who knows what will happen in the next 2 weeks? Waiting won't take the worry away. Kip said to Alice on the way home from school, I wish I could figure out what the chances are for 10 of us to be well on the day of the show. Ha! Alice laughed. Do you have a crystal ball that tells about chicken pox? A smile spread across Kip's face. I'll talk to you later, he said. I'm going home now to make something that will tell us more than a crystal ball. I'm going to make a chart. The 3 kids have chicken pox now, Kip thought. It'll only last 7 to 10 days, so they'll be better in time for the show. He made 3 marks in the Have It Now column. Then he made 1 mark under Never Had It. That mark was for himself. Kip looked at the chart. The Had It column didn't have any marks yet. 11 kids to call, he said. Better get started. Kip called Alice first. I'm doing a chicken pox survey, he told her. Have you had it? I had it last year, Alice said. You went trick-or-treating for me because I couldn't go, remember? That's right, Kip said. He marked his chart. Kip made more calls. Everyone had something different to say. I had it, Jim said. I was scratching the whole time I was away at camp. I'll shut the doors and turn the locks. I'll never get the chicken pox, rhymed Kelly. Chicken pox? I had 219 spots, wailed Anna. My mom made me wear mittens so I couldn't scratch, Matt told him. Kip called Sophie and Chloe next. Neither of them had had chicken pox. 2 more in the Never Had It column. He thought, only 4 more calls to make. The next day, Kip showed the chart to the class. Look, he said, we have 7 kids for the show. How do you figure that? Asked Rob. Like this, explained Kip. 4 kids had chicken pox already, so they can't get it again. The 3 kids who have it now should be better in plenty of time to sing. That's 7 kids. All we need is 10. Here's his graph. Had it, 4. Never had it, 8. Had it now, 3. I get it, said Amy. So at least 3 more of us have to stay healthy. From that second on, everyone who had never had chicken pox tried everything not to get the chicken pox. Amy started wearing a mask she got from the doctor's office. Don't breathe on me, she said to everyone. Fred wore gloves all day. A glove a day keeps the germs away, he said. Jackson sprayed germ killer on the chairs in the classroom. Just to be extra safe, he whispered. And Kip, he tried very hard to sing with his mouth closed to protect his throat. He mumbled. The next day, Chloe, Fred, and Sophie were absent. Chicken pox. Mrs. Beck said sadly. But Travis, May, Maya, and Corey will be back tomorrow. Oh, said Kip. My chart doesn't work so well anymore. I can't keep track of who's sick and who isn't. How about making a graph with the kid's name on it? Alice suggested. We can use sticky notes. Great idea, said Kip. Then we can move them around if things change. Here's their had pox, may get, and has now. Whew, Kip said when they were finished. It's 2 days till the show. If nobody else gets sick, we'll have 12 kids. The day before the show, Mrs. Beck had some more bad news. Kelly and Jackson, she said, shaking her head. Chicken pox. Oh no, Kip thought. We're down to 10. He turned to Rob and Amy. Okay, you guys, none of us can get sick. What's happened? That night, Kip made a terrible discovery. When he took off his shirt, he looked at his stomach and gasped. Oh no, I've got a spot. Kip felt like crying. I have to be in the show, he thought. I just won't tell anyone. Kip crawled under the covers. In the darkness, he thought about his solo. He didn't feel good about it anymore, and he knew why. Kip sat up and shouted, Mom! Dad! I have chicken pox! His parents hurried into his room and turned on the light. Kip showed them the spot. Dad looked closely, and then he laughed. You don't have chicken pox, he said. That spot's just a freckle. And the next spot Kip saw was the spotlight shining on him as he sang his solo perfectly. Now, have you ever had to do a solo? Well, and then you got sick, maybe not the chicken pox, but maybe something else. What happened? I know I have a couple of teachers. Miss Kelly Lovelady from Hot Springs, she is a great choir director. She has all kinds of courses and plays, and she goes out of her way. And we have another one, Miss Krause in Port Lavaca, Texas. She does an amazing job as well. So, teachers, have you ever had to do a play and one of your kids get sick? Tell me about it. I want to hear about who's been sick and who did your play go on. What happened? Remember, you can take an AR test on this. Give Cindy's Corner 2 thumbs up, or give this book, Who's Got Spots, 2 thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe and tell your friends. Make sure you got a freckle and not a chicken pox. Have a great day.